Okay, so now we're going to come up, we're going to cross the legs, we're going to just go on to sit down onto the butt. So however you can get there, just cross the legs, sit down, just a couple of leg stretch, hip stretch, twist, and then we finish. So just this, I'm going to start with Janu Sirsasana or head to knee pose. So straighten one leg, bring the opposite leg in, foot to the inner thigh. And this is about the back of the leg. So once you have it here, flex the foot, sit nice and tall, and then start to lean forward. So already I feel a little bit of a stretch here. So if you feel it, you can stay here. First of all, if you have any back issues, then you never want to round the back coming down into a stretch. Keep it straight, lean forward, that's enough. Once you start to feel it in the back of the leg. If you feel more flexible, then you can lean forward a little bit more and keep walking the hands forward, lean forward a little more, possibly grabbing the foot, possibly dropping the head down to the knee. Lengthening the upper body as you sink down. Good. So 30 seconds on each side. We'll go do the other side. And again, you have to really be smart about how deep you're going in the pose. You don't want anything to be too intense. You want to kind of feel it. The body will naturally warm up, and it will naturally loosen up as you do this more often. Sitting nice and tall again, flexing the foot, leaning forward, breathing. And again, just feel it out. If the body softens a little more, and you can lengthen the upper body, maybe reaching for the foot. And over time, the body, again, like I say, will naturally soften. Good. And then come on up. And then our last hip stretch is just going to be a simple cross-legged hip stretch. So just cross your legs, lift the butt up a little bit so you're seated, but just a simple cross on the legs. And ultimately, if you can, you want your ankles and knees kind of on top of each other. And your shins, the bottom part of your legs there, are about parallel. You bring the hips back a little bit so they cross this way. From here, it's just going to make the hip stretch a little bit more efficient. From here, lifting up, and then start to lean forward. And most likely, you're going to feel it deep inside the hips. And then just keep on going. And if at any point this hurts your back, then come up and just lift the upper body up. Lengthen forward, but don't round the back. And if the back is okay, then it's totally fine to come on down and round. Good. And then coming up, and then we have to switch sides. So all you got to do is just lean back, cross the opposite leg. So the other one's in front. It might feel a little awkward, but that's okay. And once you kind of get there, sitting nice and tall, leaning forward. It's going to feel slightly different, not too much different, but a little different on the hips. And whenever you're doing any hip stretching, just make sure you're not hurting the knees. If you hurt the knees, skip it. Don't do it at all. Couple breaths. Good. And then back up. And again, you may be here, which is totally fine. And then we're going to lie on our back. So slowly go ahead and pull the knees in for a moment. You can give them a squeeze.